Alright, fucking introduction. I'm gonna just go in. This is why I'm absolutely done with Black Lives Matter. This is why I think black people should be done with Black Lives Matter. And this is why I think a majority of white people should not speak on the issue because their input is mostly invalid and nonsensical, right? So let's go ahead and talk first about white people. White people should not talk about Black Lives Matter because when they do talk about it, it's always about trickery and deceit. It's not really honest. We're honest with it because it affects us as black people, but they're not really honest with it because it really doesn't affect them. So they use a lot of trickery. And the first thing they do is they associate Black Lives Matter with all black people, as if all black people are under this one umbrella and we all support Black Lives Matter. So Black Lives Matter is a small organization, and so anytime they're under the public scrutiny. So anytime they do something, anytime they do something bad, it therefore is representing all black people. And that's what a lot of white people do is like they associate Black Lives Matter with all black people. So anytime a black person talks about a black issue, it's automatically Black Lives Matter. And because Black Lives Matter is political, then you can't really stand up or you can't really sit down during the national anthem because you're making a political statement. And that's the other point I want to get to is how a lot of white people make Black Lives Matter about being political, which it is a political thing. But that's why they want to tie in black people with Black Lives Matter, because then anytime a black person stands up and says anything about injustices happening, it's a political statement. So then you can have like what happened with Chris Brown during a 9/11 event where he's playing basketball. It wasn't a 9/11 event, but it was on 9/11, and he's playing basketball, and everybody's talking about everything else except, he wasn't. He was sitting down, like he was already sitting down. Who knows if he was even smart enough to make the political judgment to the conscious judgment to actually sit down. But even if he was making that judgment, people were criticizing him sitting down and everything, and if he's talking and if he's laughing, if he's being too jovial, as opposed to if he was sitting down, what's the issue? Why is he sitting down? And this gets to my other point about Trent Dilfer, a former Ravens quarterback who was a part of their championship years and the surrounding years, one year they won in the surrounding years. He made a comment about how it's disrespectful to the military by taking a knee, which even the military people in the military have said, no, we don't give a fuck. Like we fought for your right to do that. So it's such a stupid argument. He makes the argument. Jerry Rice made the argument, kind of like about the flag. Don't disrespect our troops. Everyone makes that argument. But it's actually funny how, it's not funny, it's fucked up. But Stephen A. Smith pointed to some information that says the NFL, and this was actually like a Huffington Post article. Like it was I don't think it was done by the Huffington Post specifically, but I remember seeing it in the Huffington Post. I remember seeing it like plenty of reputable places, and they talked about how the United States government, the military, gave money to the NFL to make athletes stand during the national anthem, to make it more mandatory. And they did this to push, and while they were doing this, they were basically pushing this pro-military agenda. Um, so that's the government working with this private industry, basically to spread propaganda, because we know a lot of young people are into the NFL, so that's an easy way to spread propaganda. And there's other demographics that are specifically into the NFL, and that's a good way to get people to join the military. So people don't even know that they're getting propagandized by their own fucking country. People are too fucking stupid to know that this whole, oh, this is for the military, don't disrespect the military, football's for the military. Man, football's a dumb fucking entertainment sport. It is the furthest thing from the military. But people who have this argument don't even know that they're getting propagandized. So the reason why I personally am done with Black Lives Matter is because it doesn't represent what it was supposed to represent. It was supposed to represent young black males and all the shit that's happening to them in the United States. And especially when it comes to police officers, not only our incarceration rate, but how we're experiencing police brutality, our rights are being taken away, we're being killed while we're unarmed. All this shit is happening, but BLM has basically been co-opted by the the Democratic establishment and the LGBT community and women and feminism. And it's not even to say that I have anything against feminism and LGBT, but what it is to say is when this is an issue that's supposed to affect my demographic and you're stealing away from that, I'm going to be pretty upset. So I'm saying fuck a lot of people in this situation. But that's what I want to say. I'm done with this shit. That's my rant. Peace.